Everybody, Aaron the Dog back with another breakdown show with Lewis of Norton MMA. This week, there's no banner because I forgot to make it, but it's like half the weeks I forgot to make it. UFC Vegas 49, also known as UFC Fight Night. Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green at 160 pounds on 10 days notice. We'll get to that. I'm feeling pretty confident about the main event, but there's definitely some other fights on this card I think that are very, very interesting. Honestly, it's, most weeks I think the UFC puts on a card worth watching. I think particularly this week is a good one. There's some lesser known guys, maybe not going to be title contenders at first, but we don't know. But overall, we got a lot of debutantes, got some familiar faces. How you doing, Lewis, in the last 20 minutes since our recap show over on your channel? You can check it out right now, UFC 48 Vegas recap show over on Norton MMA. We talked for like 40 minutes on the fights. But how you doing?
Yeah, it's good. I'm just having a look through the card, to be honest, and there's a lot of good fights that should be higher up.
Yep.
It makes me a bit annoyed when I see it this low down, but no, there's a lot of good
we just need to stop paying attention to the order of the fights. I think that's mattering less and less as we go here. Again, the worst fights on the card are now in the co-main event. You're just working with that arm a little bit over there, so
I got
it's on a little
coming off now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you're sounding like me over there.
I'm just putting it back on the table.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, it should be some good fights. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it here.
Let's do it.
We got on the card here. It is another Apex card. I think that some of these fight nights are better than others. This one I think is kind of right in the middle. Honestly, there's some good fights on here. There's some not great fights on this card, but it's a good week overall of MMA. We're gonna have the Bellator Breakdown Show tomorrow. I'll be most likely doing that. LFA as well. PFL Challenger Series, Cage Warriors coming up next week. MMA is back, and it's definitely been kicking it. We're going to start at the 125-pound division. I think this is a very, very good fight. And the man cave. What up, man? The man cave. How you doing? I haven't seen you around here before, but glad that you can show up and check out the show. Welcome. Yeah, definitely. There's always some good fights. I really like this fight actually to start out the night. Two guys who got split decisions on the Contender Series. Both guys had really good fights, though. Victor Altamirano, definitely a guy I'm familiar with from LFA, a former LFA flyweight champion over there. I think he had the most title defense of any LFA champion, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of a good news, bad news situation. The good news is you defend your title. Bad news is you weren't, getting signed to a bigger organization after those title defenses. But Carlos Fernandez also won a split decision on the Contender Series. Had a really good fight there. Going out of VFS Academy. That's Juliana Pena. A lot of other fighters are training on VFS right now. Brahmaj amongst the others. So it's a pretty good up-and-coming.
Is Chiesa out there as well?
I don't know if Michael Chiesa is. I believe he is, since he was so excited.
Sometimes there, maybe at least, yeah.
He sure seems excited when Juliana Pena wins. So
yeah, that's
either he's training with her or elsewise. But 7-1 for Carlos Fernandez, the VFS Academy representative here. Again, split decision on the Contender Series, but pretty traditional boxer to set up his wrestling. Definitely well-rounded. 7-1, 28 years old still. So we're still learning quite a bit about him as a fighter. Lost his debut and has won 7 straight since then. Daniel Perez was a Spanish fighter, a kickboxer, and it was a close fight. I did think Carlos Fernandez did enough to win. He was one game to takedowns, mixing it up more. The thing is that before this, Carlos Fernandez 2-1, 1-1, 0-1, 0-0 type of fighters. He faced like Chance Wilson, faced a guy named Matt Brown. Again, the level of competition definitely on Altamirano's side here. That's what I noticed right away. Victor does go with the takedowns often, and I think Carlos Hernandez is going to get takedowns in this fight. I think Victor doesn't mind that, though. I mean, sometimes he messes with the guard a little bit too much, and I think at the higher level that could be a problem. But, I think he'll use it to get up for the most part in this situation. I like, this fight to look pretty similar to the Chris Candelario fight. Honestly, I think Carlos Hernandez is pretty similar type of fighter. And Chris Candelario gave him a lot of problems, honestly. Chris Candelario had been off for quite a bit of time. This is a really close fight. I think that most of the public's going to go with Altamirano. He's the LFA champion. He's a familiar face. But if he's not able to keep this at range, I think he's going to have a lot of trouble. I think the boxing's going to crowd him. I think that Hernandez will land hands, and I think he'll get a lot of takedowns, work a lot of ground control. This, to me, I think is Carlos Hernandez. I think he takes a decision in this one. I think he uses his wrestling, but if Altamirano whips up a triangle or something, I would just be kind of sick to my stomach, because that's not going to work at some point in the UFC, but it could work against a guy like Hernandez. But I think Hernandez finds his P's and Q's, crowds him with the boxing. This being at the Apex, I think is an advantage for Carlos as well. But super close matchup. I can get either side in this one. And it's not one that I think I'm going to overcommit to, but I got Carlos Hernandez in this one by a close decision.
See, I'm leaning the other side, thinking that he can keep the distance. Yeah. He's kept the distance against a lot better opponents, in my opinion. A lot of people, when he fought Lloyd McKinney and he ended it with a triangle choke, that's a really good name to me. And that guy had a lot of experience. He had over 20 fights at the time. There's some really good opponents that he's faced. Jared Brooks as well. That loss did a lot for him going forward. I just think he's fought a lot better people. And that's my pick here. Strike takedowns. Yeah.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely could happen for sure. I'm banking on that. He can't get close enough with the boxing and leaves himself open, because he's going to be trying to force a takedown.
Mystic Sosa is man cave. He's been here before. I'll
go check out. I'll go sub to the man cave then as well.
Yeah, check out the man cave, guys.
But
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I think he's going to be able to keep it at range. If he doesn't, long night for him. It is, but I think he's going to be able to. I think the boxing of Hernandez isn't crisp enough. But that takedown
defense of Altamirano is non-existent. I think it was 33. I think it was 33% in LFA. I believe.
But the get-ups are existent, and that's the difference. So gas tank might play a massive factor. I think the odds are pretty good, to be honest. I think. I just worry that Hernandez hasn't fought anyone that's reasonably decent other than the Contender Series fight.
I was really surprised. I was expecting to sneak Hernandez as a slight dog here. It seems that the money's smart here. Minus 125 on Hernandez, spot on. I think with regards to the odds here. Plus 105 on Altamirano. I know that there's going to be some people loving that the dog there. I get it.
There's a reason he's the champ, man. He's got 4 defenses in LFA.
Yeah, 4 or 5, I believe. Maybe it's. I mean, he's been fighting, high pressure. He's got legit taekwondo, really good skills, and I mean, also his submissions are not going to make it easy for Hernandez to just hang in the guard. The guy who Hernandez took on last fight, Perez, was a Spanish kickboxer for the most part. So hanging out in a kickboxer's guard is very, very different. And then Justin, good to see Justin here. Justin saying it's a decision fight. Yow. Yeah, sure.
I agree as well with that.
Yow. Good, really good fight to start out the night. I think, 31 years old. We're seeing a few more prospects here later on coming over to the UFC. I think Victor, one of these guys can really, make a potential kind of sneaky run in a division that's not too deep. This is, you're looking at like 16 through 20 guys here. Next fight of the night.
What's this doing on here?
Dude, what is this doing in the UFC? Ramsey Brahmaj, who made me look like a genius by picking Court McGee by decision, nailed that one. Court McGee not only won a decision in that fight, Court McGee dropped Ramsey. Court McGee in 2022 has dropped another fighter. This is crazy. Taking on the Lansing product, Michael Gilmore. out of Murcielago, training with Jamal Hill. This is Jamal Hill's like one of his training partners.
This is his dummy. Yeah.
Michael Gilmore. He is a crisp 6-4. He turns 35 in a month. Watch out, everybody. The gentleman is here. Looking for his third go-around in the UFC if you include his short notice replacement. Battle of the Bums. I like to call this a steak fight. You can use bums if you'd like that. But, yeah, the steak is going to be sizzling for however long this fight lasts because this is just 6-4 Michael Gilmore, man. He's short notice replacement on the Ultimate Fighter. Got knocked out choked out by Gilbert Urbina. Sorry, then got knocked out by Andre Petroski in the third round. I will say this: round 2 of Michael Gilmore and Petroski. Gilmore was landing. Gilmore was looking good on the feet. He had some good moments. So he has had moments inside of the octagon where he showed he was competent. Good on you there. Yeah, it's just, I mean, does Ramsey grapple him or does Michael Gilmore punch him up? And if this doesn't end in their first round, what is this going to look like after probably 5 minutes? It just
Dada 5,000 and
I am going with Ramsey Brahmaj. I would not bet him with a gun to my head at minus 350. What in the hell is wrong with you people?
That's insane.
Ramsey, hope to God it's a rear naked choke round 1. Pray to Jesus. Please.
You know what? Just to be different, I'll go Gilmore. Just because it's a coin flip to me. I think the odds are ridiculous. Why is Ramiz ever a minus 300 is mental. But yeah, this is the PFL bomb fight. Absolutely. They're both just very average.
And and I mean
they are not UFC caliber. This is where it's watered down now. This is going to a karate school and they're just giving you a belt every week.
Hey, if I can get that Brahmaj rear naked choke with like a minute left in the first round, that steak's coming out perfectly.
Oh yeah, he does have horrible. No, I'm going back on Ramiz. I can't bet Gilmore. I can't do it.
It's so bad. Yeah, this is gonna be recorded. You don't want you don't want that.
I don't want evidence of me going, yeah, Michael Gilmore, yeah.
I just can't believe it's minus 350. That is so crazy.
Like minus 200 max. Just because
I mean, it should be like minus 150 for Ramsey. Like honestly, he's shown nothing inside. Like all of the things that are like promises about Ramsey are from like 2018.
Before he got finished by McGee. That's one.
He got dropped by McGee.
He got dropped, but he didn't get finished. That's a win. That's a win.
He said, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
Yeah, minus 350 Ramsey. This is the most it's not even dogger pass because the price isn't even enough for Michael Gilmore at plus 290. It's just pass, make your food, and wait for the next fight because the next fight is, I think, potential fight of the night at 135. Alejandro Turbo Perez. Taking on the guy who I get confused with Mario Batista for some reason, Jonathan Martinez. They don't fight anything alike. They don't look alike. They don't fight out of the same camp. There's nothing alike about these two.
The names aren't alike.
No, nothing. There's nothing. I don't know what's wrong with me. They both have letters that make up their name. But Alejandro Perez, 32 and a half years old now, 22-8-1 for the 5'6", 67-inch Entrum gym representative of Mexico. Definitely a pure Mexican fighter there, Alejandro Perez, taking on the Dragon Jonathan Martinez, 14-4. He's had some weight issues, been up and down, but at 135, definitely seems to bring that power down. 69.5-inch reach, 5'8" himself, fighting a different breed MMA. Jonathan Martinez will be breaking down first. I'll beat you to it. Got knocked out by Davey Grant a couple fights ago by a real clean body overhand left in the second round of that fight. It's a really good fight before then. Many, good to see you here. 2 units on Gilmore. Okay, well, he clear. I thought so. That says lock. I thought that was like a glass of alcohol. It's a lock, but maybe you should. Good luck with that, sneaker. Enjoy that. And but yeah, Jonathan Martinez, he's looked good at points. He's looked really not good at points. I mean, started out he's been in the UFC for quite a while, since 2018. Had a decision loss to Andrei Sukumtov, though, which is very concerning. Then he took on two very, very small Chinese fighters in Waluigi and Waluigi, as I call them, and Penguin Liu, as I call them. Knocked him out, Liu, with a knee. Then I split with, split with Ewell. That's concerning. Beating Frankie Saenz and Thomas Almeida. I don't rate either one of those guys at UFC level. So
you don't rate Almeida at UFC level.
Almeida's pretty,
or is it since his head's kind of gone?
I mean, Almeida lost his first fight, he was never the same.
Was that Garbrandt was his first one, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and he's just, looked worse and worse kind of as we go. So don't really rate that too highly. And then put away by Davey Grant. So Lavashvili in his last fight, that was a good performance, probably his best performance so far. Yeah. The defensive wrestling was on point. He made weight, fought really reserved, fought really at the edge of his strikes really nicely. And just I think this is going to be kind of a war here. I think we have two really, good, durable fighters here who are going to kind of go to war. I think my question is, I think Alejandro Perez is going to have I know it only says 2-inch reach disadvantage, but Jonathan Martinez fights much longer than that, and Perez fights much shorter than that. And I just feel like Perez, the turbo, has slowed down at 35 years old quite a bit. I think there's a lot of damage that's caught up to him. I don't think this is necessarily an easy weight cut for him, especially as he's getting a little bit, up there in terms of his career now. I mean, 31 fights is a lot of fights. Again, coming off a win against Johnny Eduardo. Johnny Eduardo was going into that fight, I think he was 47 years old for that fight. It's just like, I don't know what a Johnny Eduardo win really means. Got knocked out clean against Yadong Song, which is definitely a big concern. He stuffed all of the takedowns against Cody Stamann and lost. How do you do that? How do you stuff 10 takedowns against Cody Stamann and lose? Because, I mean, Perez is he's tough, but he's slowed down to such a point that I think that Martinez pours it on him, and I think Martinez will put him away, I think rather early. I think first, second round TKO for Martinez. I really like Martinez in the spot. And Zero Bob, I haven't seen you here, but yeah, Martinez is a savage. He likes him with a late finish. Either way, I think inside the distance for Martinez is really a strong call here. I get Alejandro is very, very tough. And I think that could kind of work against him here.
I thought after all your explanation, you were going to go against Martinez there.
Oh, no.
No. I always mentioned Davey Grant fight, but he was having a lot of success in that fight. And Davey is, after his injuries, you saw how quick he is and how powerful he is at that weight class. Yeah, the Lavashvili fight, I was a bit worried coming in because he had a lot of hype, especially regionally before the UFC as well.
Our boy, NJ81 Rodriguez, there he is. What a performance by Christian Rodriguez. I was sweating. We talked about this over at the recap. NJ81, you should check it out on Norton's channel, but we gave you a shout out over there, man. Mr. Christian Rodriguez himself from his burner account. Wait till you get to bantamweight, I know.
We did talk about you. Nothing rude, don't worry.
No, all love.
All love. But yeah, I think Martinez is very underrated. His record is a bit like, I thought he won the Ewell fight, and if you do that, he's on a 5-fight win streak going into the Davey Grant fight. Almeida, I do rate. I know you don't, but we didn't say he's bad. We said he wasn't ready.
I just say he wasn't a featherweight.
Yeah, no,
stand by that.
But the Frankie Saenz fight sucked. Like, Frankie didn't belong against Martinez in that fight. I just think he's super crisp. His striking is so good.
Was Frankie Saenz like over 40 for that fight?
Yeah,
too?
he was. Yeah, he was.
Made of rocks. Made Chad Skelly look like a fried chicken.
He looked like Golem from Pokemon. It just, I just think Martinez has this. I agree with the late finish, to be honest. I think he's going to piece him up. I think he'll pretty much use the range, hit him at the, use the length, dictate everything. He's got much better distance.
All right, guys. He won the fight. JPS won. Remember the name. He won. It's good to win on your bad days. He did look like the Joe Lozon JPS, though.
He did. But Martinez as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but this could again be this could really end up being a war. I think the only way Perez does win this fight is it becomes, just like a Combate Global fight inside UFC type of, just like they get in there and they throw down. It's got to be fought if it's fought at Perez's range, it's not at Martinez's range. I will say that.
Yeah, I think Martinez is too smart to be drawn into a gunfight now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. I'm just saying that's. Yeah, I agree. So, the one last thing I'll just mention is the weight issues. I get he made weight last time, but it is always something to keep an eye on. He's missed weight multiple times. The last weight cut looked really good, and he went all 15 and didn't seem to have any issues there. So probably a moot point, but just always something I want to bring up. Martinez is a minus 220 favorite right now. I think that's a great price for a parlay. I really do like that. Perez plus 190, nowhere near what it would need, or plus 175, nowhere near what it would need to be for me. I like Martinez, and I like Martinez as a parlay piece. He'd probably be the first parlay piece of the week for me. Took the under instead of fading. Good job. Nicely done. Did you get the under by like 40 seconds, Armchair? It had to be close, that under. But yeah, don't fade Jim Miller. Don't doubt my boy Jim. I got Martinez by TKO, and I'll say in round one. I think that I'm hoping this isn't a war. I'm hoping he doesn't pull an Ann Hallinger and wait till too long and get me to sweat. But yeah, great breakdown on that fight. Going to move on to the next fight here. We've got two fighters here. Ginyu Frey versus Hannah Goldie. Hannah Goldie, haven't been super impressed by Hannah Goldie so far from what I've seen. She looks really strong, but doesn't seem to translate into punching power. She did have a submission of Emily Whitmire in her last fight. So there's that. Emily Whitmire still in the UFC somehow. Again,
what's Emily's record like? Four
and four, I believe. Maybe 4 and 5 now, but she's got an OnlyFans. So does Hannah Goldie. So they're in the UFC still. 24K Hannah Goldie. I mean, she's gonna be, I think, slightly the better striker, I guess. Maybe, right? Is that the plan?
It's quite even, isn't it?
Yeah, so the difference would be, I think the difference is as long as Ginyu Frey can deal with the physicality of Hannah Goldie. Ginyu Frey is, I think, the smarter, better, well-rounded fighter. Let's see, man, we have a whole lot of love here we got Bunny. Who's more focused on their OnlyFans? Hannah Goldie? And then we got 24K needs more work. Amazing body and OnlyFans though. I'll take Frey by decision. Good to know. I haven't been to her OnlyFans, but and then these girls make banks on OnlyFans. It's like serious, that's great. I'm not judging them. Hannah Goldie, she's training over at Fusion XL. I do know she is pretty focused on her training in all seriousness. Like, I will give her credit for that. She's a hard worker.
In incredible shape.
Yeah, and then she's in great shape. And, I mean, it is good to see her developing her game more with the submissions she's been in. I mean, her MMA debut was against Jillian Robertson. She won back in the day. I mean, it's like she's been in there with some good girls.
Has she been training with Jillian recently as well?
Yeah, and they are training together now. So I do really like that work for her for sure. But Ginyu Frey is 36 years old now, nearly 37. She's an atomweight who's fighting at strawweight. Hannah Goldie's fought at 125 before. The size is a big concern for me in this fight. Ginyu Frey though, she's a former champion over with Invicta at 105. She fought the who's who there. She got triangled by Kay Hansen, another OnlyFans girl. And Kay Hansen just not.
They all just have OnlyFans now.
Quite a few of them do. I mean,
Yeah.
Kay Hansen, again, not great in triangle. They're in the third round there. Luma Lagbume, that was a really competitive fight. And I think that's the fight that I most look to here with Jen. I think
Jen smaller as well.
Yeah. And Hannah Goldie's pretty small too, but she's just stronger.
Unit, yeah.
Yeah, but I think those muscles really work against Hannah if Jen gets this to the floor. I think Jen can get on top of her here. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to go with Ginyu Frey. I saw the price and I screeched.
What's the price?
We almost got minus 200 on Ginyu Frey, minus 190, which is just, asinine. I can't bet it. But I got Ginyu Frey by decision. I think she takes 2 of 3 rounds. I think Hannah Goldie doesn't have enough volume with her strikes. And I don't think that grappling-wise while she was able to submit Emily Whitmire, I think that Ginyu Frey is much better than Emily Whitmire. Much
better. Like, Ashley Yoder is a lot better than Hannah Goldie to me. It's a really hard one because I have the losses she's got against Granger, who was undefeated, I'm pretty sure at the time, and she was.
Granger was pretty good at the time.
And Belbita looked great last week. She really did. Straight kickboxing fight. If you're after volume, you're not going to get it from Hannah Goldie, but what you can get.
And Jen also had a win over DePaula. I mean,
yes, exactly.
It's a big win.
It's a tricky one to call because if Goldie uses what seems to be she's trying to develop her grappling game.
Mm-hmm.
If she can use that and bank around almost steal rounds, and if that's how she wants to fight, because she's not going to be a finished machine with the volume she throws and the technique she's got currently. Not saying it couldn't develop in the future. She's 29. She's got some years left. I just think, I agree with the comments. Frey gets disrespected a little bit. The record's misleading a little bit for her. I think Frey by decision is quite a clear-cut clear-cut bet if you are doing it. I would stay away from this fight because you don't know what Hannah Goldie's going to show up. Yeah, you're going to slam her to a round, but can she do that for 3 rounds or 1 round? And then she's just going to get...
Interestingly enough, too, Ginyu Frey has a 4-inch reach advantage.
Does she really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Hannah is really T-Rex arms.
Yeah. No, I think Frey by decisions how the route I would go.
Yeah, Goldie is almost in. Who's the fighter from? I believe she's from England, who has a 59-inch reach. She's won a couple of fights. She fought on the Contender Series.
Corey McKenna.
Yes, she has a 59-inch reach.
Yeah,
which is insane.
She's a beast, though.
Dude, yeah, she is such. Yeah, but Hannah Goldie had 61-inch reach. Pick things up and put them down. Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I got Frey here, and your pick officially is Frey as well?
Yeah, I got Frey decision.
Okay, so we've got one disagreement still because you were too gutless to not pick Michael Gilmore. But next fight, I feel like I've broken down this next fight about 10 times now because I feel like it keeps getting rescheduled. And they keep putting it like lower on the card, almost like punishing these guys for rescheduling the fight. But I'm so excited for this fight. I think I picked Terrence McKinney once for it. I picked Fares Viziem once for it, I believe, in my breakdown. So this is a really close fight, plain and simple. It's going to go one of 2 ways. Or I guess maybe like one of 3 ways. But one way I don't see it going is a Terrence McKinney decision. I don't see that being the route. Terrence McKinney obliteration in the first round? Sure, could certainly see that. A Fares Viziem knockout at some point. Yes, I could see that. Fares Viziem decision, I could see that. Those are kind of the 3 routes I see this fight going. And it's just like, how good is Fares Viziem is my real how good are both guys, I guess. I really do like Terrence McKinney from what I've seen. And it's just like, obviously he's got the story and everything. On the Contender Series against Woodson, he came up short there. And again, that's my concern. As this fight goes on, it's kind of like almost the Jamie Pickett argument in a way. I think this becomes a huge advance for Fares Viziem. Terrence McKinney has not proven to me yet that he's got 15 minutes of gas. But yeah, and then like this, like they all have OnlyFans, and that That's
your
not.
mouth.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, I don't subscribe to OnlyFans.
I don't have it, so
Yeah, but
I'd
it's
get
like,
killed, I think, by my missus.
yeah, and I don't want to be rude, but it seems like the ones who are doing the OnlyFans, I don't really want to see their OnlyFans for the most part. Like Jessica Andrade, I'm good. Jessica
She
I,
have it? Oh.
yes, Jessica I'm good. Like these are like isn't that like the classic, the ones who showed or the ones who shouldn't? Like, isn't that the classic like as old as time? Let me get to the breakdown here of Pharisee, Smile Killer, before I get canceled. 24 years old, turning 25 on fight night or right before fight night, 6'1", 75-inch reach. Only a 1-inch reach advantage against the 5'10" Terrence McKinney. Again, I think Pharisee fights much longer with that reach, really utilizes it much more. Obviously, uses much more of his tools here. For French kickboxer, I think he really could be a long stay in the UFC. I don't think we quite know how good he is yet, but I think we're finding out more with each fight. Had a tough debut against Brahmaj, where Brahmaj used quite a bit of grappling in that fight. And I do think that could be interesting for McKinney if he uses his wrestling. I just don't see McKinney using that wrestling. So I do think that it's, can McKinney touch his chin? Because I just don't think McKinney has 15 minutes of wrestling gas in him, and I just don't see that being a route he goes. But that is how kind of Madge beat him. That is, for the most part, seems how people beat Faras. After that, had a really good competitive fight with Malarkey. I believe that was Malarkey's debut, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of his first fights. So, I mean, Malarkey looks like
Malarkey.
Yeah, a bunch of Jamie Malarkey. Jamie Malarkey's looked better and better, I think, since that
I think his first was Riddell, I think.
Okay. I couldn't remember, but either way, then Malarkey kind of had a rough start to his career, and then a majority win over Luigi Vendramini. That definitely makes me nervous. It was a close fight. Luigi getting his hands on you that much definitely makes me concerned. If Terrence gets his hands on him that much, I think Terrence puts him down and puts him away. And as much as I've wanted to kind of go with the pure kickboxer route and be like, Faras is just going to be more composed, I don't think he has the tools to keep Terrence off him. The physical tools. And I think if Terrence touches him, I think Terrence is going to affect him. And more. I think Terrence gets it. I think Terrence gets that first round KO. I've been back and forth. I picked both guys in 2 different breakdowns. It's a very close fight. But this is my first official dog of the night. I am taking Terrence McKinney by KO.
In these fights where it's one explosive guy and he's got essentially 5 minutes to KO him, or the 15-minute duration, the decision fighter, I normally go with the decision guy. But for this one, I think there's an X factor with Terrence.
I agree.
And I think for us, hasn't shown me. In that Jamie Malarkey fight was super close. Like, it was very competitive.
Yeah.
I think McKinney's just got it. I think he's got some power for the division that others just don't possess, and for us might have not felt from someone this confident as well. Terrence fully backs his own ability, which is really good. So I think it's either a decision fight or a first round knockout fight for me. I do think Terrence is going to do it. I really want Terrence to do it as well because I like the story. Not to say I don't like for us, but I like the story of Terrence, and I think he can go a lot further with the fans, especially in his fighting style. So I'm backing Terrence for this one with the first round finish as well.
I've been back and forth plus 110 on Terrence McKinney though. I bet him his debut against Frivola. I finally was on the right side of one of those instant knockouts where it's like everybody should have known. But that's not real. I mean, he's just. There's an X factor. It's just that is what it is. I'm a little bit nervous with Ziam that he's going to be a little bit too comfortable with the circling and maybe underestimate the striking of McKinney, and it's more than just power and throwing. I mean, I think that he adds a little bit more. I would love to see just a couple takedowns, not desperate wrestling, but a little bit of takedowns just makes it up. Yeah, and because he can do that. So Terrence has been aching to get back in there. Really, really good fight. I'm excited about that one. This next fight is, a different kind of fight. You
I was
know,
waiting to hear
again,
you one of this one.
yeah, Ziam is a minus 130. He's never been knocked out, but Terrence McKinney can give a lot of people their first knockout, in my opinion. And so one thing that would be amazing is to see McKinney win a decision. It would really,
and that can happen. He could use the first round just slobber knocking, second round grinding him with the takedowns later,
or even like a second round taking it off to come back in the third round type of thing. But
absolutely,
yeah, Terrence KO for me. First official dog of the night for me, and we do agree. This next fight, I'm going to give a real quick breakdown of, and then got a couple dogs I'm going to have to drop off, so I'm going to turn it over to you but I'm not going to leave you on this fight. Ramona Pascual, I should have, though, making her short-nosed debut at 33 and a half years old at 6-2, taking on the 8-1 28-year-old Josiane Nunes, who is 5'2", and this is at 145 pounds. Oh boy. Nunes knocked the hell out of Bia Malecki in her last fight. Gave Bia Malecki like serious brain damage. Bia Malecki's still not quite the same. And then Ramona Pascual, 6-2 out of Hong Kong, 4-fight win streak for her. She's fighting out of Syndicate. She came off of a finish in Invicta in the first round of a 2-0. Shamir Peshwawa, she looked like she had never fought before. I can't believe she was 2-0. Just like repeated knees from Ramona there. But Josiane Nunes hits like a truck. I think she's got like one round of gas though. After that, I don't know what happens. I'm going to say Josiane Nunes ends up catching her, but after the first round, a live bet on Ramona Pascual, depending on how Nunes looks going back to the corner, might be a worthy bet. Otherwise, I have no idea what to think. Give me Nunes, and I have no confidence in it.
I'm with you on that one. There's not a lot I know about both, to be honest, other than Nunes packs a punch and she's good for one round. But yeah, I think it's just going to be Nunes. I think the odds are that for a reason in this one.
Yeah,
and the reason the matchmaking is the matchmaking as well is because there's just no one in that division.
Exactly. And by the way, Nunes minus 300. Godspeed if you want to bet that. Godspeed. And God have mercy on your soul. I'm speechless there. This next fight, though, and I was so not interested. I'm not even putting a timestamp for that one. It's just combining it with the McKinney one because I forgot to. Next fight is Striker's Delight. Zhu Rong Rong Zhu, as they put it, versus Ignacio Bahamondes. You're a striker. I'm going to have you give a little preview here, and I will be right back.
Perfect. All right, then let's start with Bahamondes because everyone knows Bahamondes after that spinning wheel kick anyway. Spinning wheel kick that Roosevelt Roberts was doing well in, beating him up a little bit. And at the end, he just showed the unpredictability of him, the explosiveness, the technique, the athleticism, everything that he kind of has is beautiful. This fucking fight. Yeah, mate, this is a banger. And you're going with Ignacio, Manny. I'm with you. I think it's a closer fight than the record suggests as well, because he's got 4 extra wins in this Zhu Rong. Zhu Rong is a lot more Thai boxery. Let's start with that. High guard, lots of calf kicks, lots of low kicks in general, likes to plant that jab, likes to use lateral movement, got great distance management. Ignacio, hands down, gets hit a lot. So I can see a lot of problems there. I can see Zhu Rong kind of throwing a lot of volume his way. The thing is with Ignacio, he's... Right. The thing is with the volume against him is he can take an awful lot of punishment, but I'm wondering for how long. You see his wins in the UFC is just Roosevelt Roberts. The John McDessie fight was close, but he still lost. John McDessie hit him a lot and kind of just used experience to kind of master him. You know, the low kick for that fight was money all day. And it's really worrying when Zhu Rong does very similar things to McDessie, and in my opinion, moves a lot better than McDessie. McDessie's just more of a veteran within the UFC. He's got a lot of fights in WLF. Zhu Rong. It's annoying that Aaron left you on the screen as well, so you can't even see it. But yeah, definitely, yeah, exactly, Man Cave. He does get hit a lot. It's Ignacio by decision is a good bet. I think if there's going to be a finish, I think it'll be Zhu Rong. through sheer volume, cutting the corners, closing the angles, planting those leg kicks, weaken the legs. So Ignacio, there's no threat, there's no power punch anymore. So it's only going to be volume left. Zurong can close that gap, land the heavy shots there, land the body hooks, and over the top that he likes. He likes to do 1-2s, plants the jab, as I said, low kick, close the distance, cut the corners. I think that's the way to do it. He's just so long. Yeah, great point, Armchair. So how tall is he actually? Hang on, let me bring up my one. I'm sure you guys all have your stats up as well. That do it. Okay, so he's 6'3" for the weight class, which is massive, with a 75-inch reach. That's Ignacio. So he's massive for the weight class, but 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. So he's got a massive deficit in reach, but he's 21 years old, Zurong, and he's already got 22 fights. Can he close that gap? I think he can. I think Ignacio gets hit way too much, and I don't think he's got the knockout power. Despite the wheel kick, I don't think he's got the knockout power in his favorable hands. He likes to let the hands go. I think he's more volume. I think Zurong actually has the power, which is a bit scary to me because he also has volume. He KOs a lot of people. If you've ever seen the fight against Bedelia, devastating KO. It was a late KO. I think it was the fight that got him the UFC contract, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the kind of fight that he wants to make this with Ignacio, because he wants to get inside, sit in that phone booth kind of fighting. You got to close that distance. If he's letting Ignacio fight at range, you're in trouble, aren't you? Is there anyone that thinks that Zurong has the chance? Because I can just see Ignacio. And I'm wondering, is that because you haven't seen a lot of Zurong? Or is that because you love a guy that beats up the body? You're scaring me off pulling a trigger at Ignacio. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He does do body shots a lot. And against someone that gets hit all the time, I just think Ignacio's defense is very limited at the moment. I think he's still learning, and that's brilliant. But I'm wondering, if you're pitting him against someone that literally Thai boxes every day and works body and low kicks, takes away your weapons instead of trying to knock you out, essentially, he wears you down to the point where you almost just can't fight anymore. Whereas Ignacio's trying to land that big haymaker by keeping you at range, peppering you with the jab, one over the top. He's got box standard technique. He's got very simple tools, which is great. The fundamentals are there. You know, he's like the Roger Gracie of boxing almost. Roger Gracie doesn't use crazy slick shit. He uses a rear naked choke and a triangle and an armbar. He uses the basic tools to the best of the ability, and that's why he's the greatest. I think Ignacio's taken, I'm going to use a jab and a right cross, and I'm going to make that my money every single day. And then he threw in a wheel kick for fun. But yeah, Ignacio is a thin dude, not a lot of cushion for that body. Yeah, could you imagine Zurong just crushing the body up? It's going to be like that Bellator spinning wheel kick where he, punctured a lung and got 4 ribs in one. There's a lot to go right with Zhu in this one. Yeah, Justin, you think Zhou wins as well? Okay. Well, I'm personally backing Zurong. I think he's young. I think he's dynamic. He's got shitloads of experience. He's an underdog, which is always a great bet anyway, if you're on these ones. I think if Brahmaj wins this, it's going to tell us a lot about how he's developed, especially in power, because I think by decision, he's probably got the experience now to understand what his gas tank's like, especially in the last fight against Roosevelt Roberts. His gas tank got really tested in that one. But I think Zhu takes this.
Yeah.
I don't know what you've got left to add
no,
to that,
there's nothing I can possibly add to that. I can't wait to go back. I'm sorry about that. For those of you who don't know, I run a dog business, and occasionally people like to be early, and I can't tell them I'm on a podcast right now for mixed martial arts. I can't do my job. So dogs are always a part of this. Your pick was who? My pick is Zurong. Zurong. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, this is one that for me, I think that Zurong, I like Zurong. I'm also on Zurong here. I think that his forward pressure is really, really huge in this fight. Brahmaj gets hit too much. He just gets hit so much, and to me, the price, I think, is completely inflated based on a viral knockout. I think this is some huge value here at plus 200 on Zurong, who has hundreds of kickboxing fights himself, tons of experience. He's only 22 years old. He's over at American Top Team right now. He's going to get better and better. Bahamondes, I think, is, dare I say it, a little overrated.
It's like deja vu.
Yeah, so yeah, I got Zurong here plus 200. So can't wait to go back and listen to that. But won't belabor those points anymore. Sorry about that. But yeah, appreciate you taking. I'm glad I at least left you with a good fight. I'm glad I didn't miss this fight, because this fight is this guy's one of my favorite up and comers, I guess you could say. I wouldn't even say prospect. I think he's a little beyond that, but one of my favorite up and comers in any division, definitely in the middleweight division. Gregory Rodriguez taking on Armin Katrozian. This is a classic. This is a classic fight here. I'm hoping it's a striker versus a grappler, and the reason I'm hoping that is because Gregory Rodriguez would be making a grave error to get into a stand-up bout here. Armin Petrosian has really lethal kicks, super legit kickboxer, and Gregory Rodriguez has been knocked out by Jordan Williams. Those are all concerns for me. Gregory Rodriguez also has really good, powerful hands, but that's it. He does not kick. He doesn't really mix it up. Basically goes to the head with most of it. He's got to implement takedowns. He's got to implement his jiu-jitsu. I really think he's going to. I think there's going to be a takedown inside of the first minute of this fight. I think the first body kick or kick Armin throws that he can grab, he's going to grab a hold on to, get him up against the cage, and get him to the ground. I think this is a terrible fight for Armin Petrosian for his debut. This is brutal. And Armin going to destroy Gregory here. Interesting. I'm very much and then Armchair saying he gets rocked all the time. Chico, please. But either way, I'm very much on Gregory Rodriguez in this spot here. I don't think he gives Armin a chance to use his stand-up. I think it would be a huge mistake if he does. I get Gregory's had some good performances. The last win against Owen Young, I think, is so telling, though, of his level of MMA. And I just think he's at a much higher level than Armin Petrosian. Armin Petrosian, pretty much a kickboxer exclusively. He got taken down multiple times in his Contender Series fight. He did get up and get the finish, but again, he's 6-1, has half the experience in MMA of his opponent. They're both a good size. They're both about 6'2", so big guys, similar type of reach. Petrosian also cutting down from light heavyweight for this fight to middleweight. I don't think he's fought at middleweight before this, but I think he's fought only at light heavyweight. So that's another X factor of 20 extra pounds being cut there. I did come into his Contender Series fight at 201, but yeah. I got it. Gregory Rodriguez at this price, I think, is absolute value. And I think he takes this one, gets a submission. Finally reminds people he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And he's a parlay piece for me. Gregory parlay him away with Jonathan Martinez. I think for my most reliable on the night, Gregory Rodriguez minus 155 is a steal. And I like him with the submission prop.
Yeah, I think if he can dictate it on the ground, easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Easy for him. But again, if he gets cocky like some of these grapplers do, he's got heavy hands, but he's no striker like Armin. That is, it almost like Jacare. Jacare kind of fell in love with his hands, but it was always the grappling. Mm-hmm. I don't see how Armin can win.
I mean, knockout.
But he's not good. I don't see how he can close that gap.
Yeah.
Because if he closes the gap, he then sets into the range for Gregory just unleash, because he doesn't care about takedowns. If they get into a scramble, power is going to rip him to the floor. Don't even need technique with Gregory. He's an absolute unit. He has the technique as well, which just helps. I think it's going to be easy for him to rip him to the ground. I was surprised when I just saw how many Armin supporters there are.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, I think these guys think it's Gregory Petrosian. This is, it's just like he's a playable. I swear, if he gets caught, he's not going to get caught. He's shooting right away. He's not even toying with the stand-up. I think in this fight, I really think it's a jiu-jitsu.
If he does toy, he'll lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I'm with you. I think he's smarter than that.
Yeah, I do too. I really think he's smarter than that. When I saw this price, I think this is one of the best values on the card. Again, minus 155, bet it straight up, and I'm also putting in parlays. Maybe next week I'm talking about Armin, but I
Not
like
that
Gregory.
confident, but...
I'm confident in this one. This is one that I'm quite confident in. Gregory Rodriguez has fought good level of competition on the LFA scene as well, and cutting an extra 15 pounds for Armin for his debut in the UFC, I don't think is necessarily a recipe for success. But yeah, I mean, all of a sudden we got the Armin Katrozian fan club here, and and then like it's good to know.
I think he's got a good future. I think he's a kind of a rough ride to give him for his debut, though.
Yeah, 6-1 to be on a main card against Gregory Rodriguez. That's not an easy spot.
About 15 fights, yeah.
and apparently, I like Gregory Rodriguez more than the average person. So I thought there would be some supporters, but either way,
mom, I think, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Gregory Rodriguez's mom, me. So next fight here, another really, really good fight, interesting fight here. Armin Tsarukyan taking on Joel Alvarez at 155 here. Very good matchup. Right away, the thing that sticks out for Joel always, he's 6'3", 77-inch reach. He's taking out 5'7", 72.5-inch reach of Armin Tsarukyan. Could that play a factor? I don't know. Probably not. But I think it's definitely a factor that really helps Joel Alvarez, not, at times on the feet, but it's more in the grappling, I think, where he surprises people with his length. 28 years old, 6'3", 77-inch reach, as I said, 4 straight wins, those wins coming over Belluardo, Joe Duffy, so not really too great there. Alexander Yakovlev, but then it was the Thiago Moises finish, standing finish of him in the first round that it's just like, we're really seeing kind of another level of some, within Joel here. He seems to be progressing really nicely. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed. He had a tough debut against Amir Ismagulov. No shame there at all. And since then, it's looked really, really good. Good striking, but it's obviously his grappling and his and just overall his submission game that really gets him, I think, a lot of good credit here. Armin Tsarukyan came in on short notice back in the day against Islam Makhachev and gave Islam probably his best fight in the UFC besides Adriano Martinez, who won. But yeah, I mean, really, really a good fight there. Dominated Olivier Aubin-Mercier pretty well. Davi Ramos, 2 very, very good grapplers, but different kind of grapplers, strong grapplers. Frivola, kind of just put it on him there, and then put away Christos Giagos in the first round. So both these guys coming off that first round finish, both really confident. Armin Tsarukyan is the much stronger opponent here, and a lot of opponents have been able to get Joel down. So I think I'm just going to kind of lean towards the power wrestling beats crafty jiu-jitsu in this matchup. On the feet, I would, possibly give Joel more of a chance. So I think that could get really interesting if this is competed a lot on the feet just because of the different frames and where this fight could be fought at. But I just think Armin uses the grappling, uses the wrestling, uses the power, and gets this one done. I don't know if he gets the finish or not, but I think I like Armin in this spot. The price is a little bit rough, but my pick's still Armin.
Yeah, I was on Armin's train the whole time. I think Joel is very good, and I think getting a win over Thiago Moises nearly changed my mind. But Armin's grappling is just phenomenal. I don't think Joel is quite at that stage grappling wise. I think he'll surprise a lot of people. I think he's got, as you say, people underestimate length when it comes to grappling. I've got quite long limb. I got a 75-inch reach, and I'm 6 foot, which decent reach. But I know people with like an 80-inch reach that are 6'1", and it's so difficult to trap an arm when you're rolling with them. Yeah. Little things like that. So, but Armin's just another level. I think decision. I don't see a finish in my mind, but I think Armin's gonna pretty much just ragdoll.
I think Armin by decision would be my play to get close to plus money. Price still going to be a low minus. He's at minus. I'm seeing anywhere from minus 210 to minus 300.
Blimey.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Armin Tsarukyan odds are this way. Yeah. Like every fight except for the Makhachev fight, they've been this way. So especially when you fight Makhachev that well, and what was it, 4 days notice he did it on or something?
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, after that, we're cursed with minus 300s or more. Yeah.
So what happens when you get good Armenians? They just
And then Armin may be a future champ. Fights like this tell you a lot about him. That's very true. So yeah, I'll probably put Armin in a few of my parlays and then take a shot at the decision prop. I think would be my route there. But yeah, Joel is live. Next fight on the card. I guess I'm getting another stakeout because Priscilla fucking Cachoeira is the third fight from the goddamn top. Why? The girl who I gouged, Jillian Robertson, has a fight before Jillian, and it's third from the top against Ginyu Kim. What the fuck is going on here? This is a terrible, terrible fight. This is really bad. This is really bad. This is like I don't understand why this is in the UFC, let alone third from the top on a main card.
I'm shocked that UFC didn't do what everyone was saying to do and just get her out.
Seriously, you're giving her, and not only that, you're giving her a very winnable fight here.
Imagine someone that kicked you in the bollocks on purpose and then did it again.
Yeah, she should have been cut.
Yeah,
she should have been cut instantly. This is not only do you take her from the opener that she was with Jillian, now she's in the main card. Do you know how many main cards Jillian Robertson's fought on? 0. This is stupid shit. This is stupid fucking shit. Ginyu Kim, please win this fight. Please save us all. But you got out grappled by Molly goddamn McCann. Like, you are not good. You beat Nadia Kassem.
I think Molly's a brown belt, by the way, in jiu-jitsu. Pretty sure.
Yeah, Melinda Fabian and Justine Shit Your Pants Quiche. Like, come on, dude. She is terrible. Priscilla Cachoeira gets taken down by everybody and their mother. She should have been cut. She's done steroids. She's missed weight. She's not good at fighting. They should just give her Valentina Shevchenko again. Let her get 200 strikes to the goddamn face. My pick is gonna be, I don't know, Ginyu Kim by decision.
If you pick Priscilla, I've lost a little respect. No one should be picking.
Yeah, I will never pick Priscilla Cachoeira against anybody, and she doesn't deserve this opportunity. She's a cheater. I make sure to let her know on all her Instagram posts this day still that she's a cheat. And I hope that Ginyu Kim embarrasses her, but this is a fight that Priscilla Cachoeira, in all honesty, could win. That's the sad part because it's going to be on the feet, and Cachoeira could close her eyes and just hit her with a knockout punch, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, I'm going to take Ginyu Kim to use her lateral movement. She's been preparing for a fight for quite a while here. Ginyu Kim knows a loss here gets her cut. I think she's going to come in with a good game plan. I have inside information. Ginyu Kim turned down a short notice fight before this, so she is coming into this realizing she has to win. Yeah, Priscilla Cachoeira is crap.
I won't spend long on this then, other than saying I really want Kim to win.
Please.
I think her strike.
I'm not betting $1 on this fight. By the way,
she got outstruck by Molly McCann, but she's a boxer. First and foremost. So I don't put too much credit into that. I think she can strike, and I hope she just pieces her up and beats her.
Please, yeah. I mean, the price here makes me want to gouge my eyes out. Minus 190, Ginyu Kim. Minus 190, Ginyu Kim. That's how bad you are, Priscilla Cachoeira. May God have mercy on your soul. Fuck off.
Enough of that, so we can talk about Misha Serkinov.
Yeah, thank God. Let's go from Priscilla Cachoeira. What is the end of this card? What is this?
Why did they put Armin v. Joel as a co-main? And promote these people. Promote Armin. Right.
Promote Armin. Put Gregory Rodriguez in there. Like, anybody are better than these two fights. These are two awful fights. Misha Serkinov, at one point, do you remember the Misha prospect days where he was this crusher and he looked like he was on steroids? It's because he was on steroids. You know what he's not on anymore? Steroids. Look at his atrophied ass arm at 185.
Was it after Krylov or Kutalaba, wasn't it? They kind of
Yep, all of a sudden the juice was gone. So Misha Serkinov taking on Wellington Turman. 15-7, 17-5, 34-year-old versus a 25-year-old. Misha is still at Extreme Couture. He's getting worse by the day. He is just awful. I don't know what he can do besides get him down and choke him out early.
Yeah.
I really don't. After that, this becomes Wellington Turman's fight. What am I saying? Wellington Turman is terrible as well, but he has gas. He has the ability to punch and kick. And Misha Serkinov
decision against Sam Alvey.
Yeah, Misha Serkinov is so bad. Yeah. Misha Serkinov is so bad and limited. All he can hope for is a crushing Darce choke type of finish type of thing. If that doesn't happen, Wellington Turman allegedly has jiu-jitsu in his background. Allegedly. I haven't really seen that too much. But, I mean, he's getting knocked out. He's not getting out grappled by these people. And Misha Serkinov is not knocking out anybody. He just isn't. He looks atrophied at this, and this is just train wreck. That's what we're picking here. Absolute train wreck. This is horrible. This is horrible. These two fights are just two of the worst of 2022, and they're back-to-back. Wellington Turman by decision. God, I hate this.
I can't believe you said it.
I said it.
I'm good. Yeah, knowing this, Misha will knock him out now.
Fine. That's fine.
I think Misha can grapple him. I think that's the only route. I think Turman has no.
Not for 15 minutes.
No, but he won't last 15 minutes. Actually, no. He could probably do it for about 8, and that would.
Who has the worst gas tank?
It's pretty even. It's pretty even. I mean,
how does this 24-year-old have as bad of a gas tank as an ex-juice head?
Good guys. That's the only thing I'll say, and that makes me pick him. That makes me pick him because he handed Jimmy Crute his first loss.
You're right.
You know? Mm-hmm. He lost to Johnny Walker and like Glover and Vulcan. And
what a miracle that Jimmy Crute win was. Like, what was that Peruvian necktie he got after almost got? Yeah, after almost. Oh my god, that was such a miracle.
I think he can drag Turman down and get a necktie, get a Darce, snatch a neck.
God, well, you better hope so. If this goes 15 minutes, we're all in trouble.
You can see how quick we've skipped a lot of the main card because it's just
dude. We're spending 7 to 8 minutes on the prelims. All of a sudden, we get to the main card. It's 3 minutes. I didn't write down a time for one of the fights, the Josiah and Nunes fight. I just combined that one together. This is crazy. And
Wellington with some beef and gravy and mash.
Seriously, well, yeah, Wellington. I think Wellington just takes this because he doesn't have an atrophied arm. That's my only pick.
And that's why I'm picking Misha.
Yeah. Hoping some of the steroid drip comes through. Right. Wellington Turman plus 105 to the minus 125 favorite of Misha Serkinov. That is so crazy to me that Wellington Turman has found his way into a co-main event, and I have picked him. The last 2 co-main events, I picked Jamie Pickett and Wellington Turman. Fuck. That's a problem. That's a problem. Let's get on to the main event because the main event's a joke too. The end of this card is a pure train wreck, dude. Pure train wreck. This is one where if you turn it off at third from the top, I don't blame you. Like, I'm going to watch the whole thing, but seriously, the way this card's ending is like a shit sandwich. Let me be the rain on the parade here. What are you doing, Bobby Green? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is one of the worst decisions I have seen in such a long time. He's committing suicide here. And not only that, but, I sent you this right before. Bobby Green decided to get up to 195 pounds 4 days after his last fight and then accept this fight at 160. The only reason that he's taking this is at 160 is because Bobby Green needs it to be at 160. Know who's going to benefit from it being at 160? Islam Makhachev, who has to cut 5 less pounds now, and now it gets to take on a guy cutting 35 pounds still. Yeah. Bobby Green has an Adriano Martins counter right hand, and that is it. If he doesn't get that, this is 5 rounds of just domination until Islam locks in a rear naked choke or an arm triangle. And I don't think Bobby Green's ever been finished by submission, but yeah. I think Islam just works him. It's 5 round, just smattering probably. I'll go with the Islam decision. I think Bobby Green's tough, but I'll take Islam by a decision.
I'll be a little more in depth because I've done the full breakdown on my channel.
Yeah. I'm not thrilled about this. move.
I'll say Bobby Green has taken it to answer a question. He's getting paid a lot of money for this because 4 other opponents that do not. I'll let you do the math because there's 4 opponents in this division that do not have opponents. They all got offered the fight. They all turned it down. That is, no one wants to fight Islam. So that's the first thing. So credit to Bobby Green for that. Second, why the hell are you going up to nearly 200 pounds, Bobby? That's crazy. All the good things about Bobby and what he does, where he has his hands low, so you don't know where shots coming from. He's got great movement laterally. He pops the shots off. He's super accurate as well. Doesn't possess crazy power, but he's super accurate and high volume.
This is a fair point from Armchair.
See, yeah, that's my one thing is the amount of stuff that he can implement, I think can work, where high firing, precision striking is really good against Islam. The difference is that's exactly what Dan Hooker does. As soon as Dan Hooker threw a left hook, straight away, double leg taken down to the mat, didn't land a punch. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Bobby Green has good takedown defense. You can have incredible takedown defense. You're still getting taken down by Islam. And that's the difference. You know, Islam, I think this is going to go exactly the same way the Dan Hooker fight went. I think I would be shocked if he even took a punch, because I think he's just going to get inside. He doesn't fight like Khabib, where Khabib will just run at you, get the takedown. He'll take a shot to get the takedown. Islam can box. Islam gets inside, he dips under, grabs the leg, and then circles and slams. He doesn't chain wrestle, he powers you through. It's just ridiculous. His trips are phenomenal as well. What he did against Drew Dober, he couldn't get a double leg. Drew absolutely brilliantly sprawled every time. So what did he do? He got a body lock, tripped into the floor.
Yep.
I don't think he's got a decision. I think I'll be shocked if it hits the second round, to be honest. I think it's going to be absolute.
Yeah, and maybe I'm taking inside the distance. Never mind.
5 rounds. You think Bobby Green is lasting 5 rounds with Islam on top?
After losing 40 pounds.
Dude,
in his first, never mind.
Fucking chance. I think Islam's gonna. I think exactly the same way Dan Hooker went is how this. But the only thing I have against this is he's probably gonna get a title shot after it.
I don't think he can get one out at 160. He's got to weigh in at 150.
I just think if someone drops out, if something doesn't, he's gonna get it. He will get it, which will be a 10-fight win streak by then.
Right.
I'm not against him getting. No one's gonna be annoyed he's got it, but it's. You haven't. It's like the Leon Edwards after the Bilal. You need one more. You need something. It's just not enough. And I just think Islam's going to absolutely trip him to the floor, snap his arm.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally fair. I'm just not crazy about it being a catch weight. And I mean, there's no hate on
full
Bobby.
Full credit, Bobby.
Yeah,
and he can hurt him, but I don't think he will.
And I'm not hating on Bobby. I really like Bobby, and it's just kind of frustrating to me that all kind of his worked up momentum and everything is going to come to this.
What is he, 36? He's prize fighting at this point, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's just like, you know, I give him credit. There's no hate here ever on the channel unless it's a very particular fighter like Priscilla Cachoeira, and she can fuck off. But you know, everybody else, like I got nothing but love. And so we're gonna go through. We're gonna do our quick picks real quick, and then we're gonna sign off. This was a great card till we got to the last 3 fights. Till we got to the main card.
I'm still going to enjoy the last. I'm still going to enjoy Islam because I just like seeing him.
Yeah. It's always a showcase, for sure. And so timestamps are, as always, going to be in the description here. And so before we take off, I think we got 3 disagreements, but I'll keep track of it here when we go through our final picks. And then Sam saying fair enough. No, I get it, Sam. Sometimes I get a little overpassionate. I come across like hate. I wouldn't be doing this channel if I hated fighters. We wouldn't talk about fights every week if we hated fighters. No hate here. Sometimes just a little bit of salt. But quick picks here to finish up. Thank you everybody for joining. We had 20 viewers today, which is the most viewers we've had. Thank you to the holiday and everything. And shout out to Boston Comments and many others who shared this and spreading the word. We really appreciate it. And just getting started here for the week with our breakdowns. But quick picks starting with the 125 division, Victor Altamirano versus Carlos Fernandez. I have Carlos Fernandez in this spot by a close decision.
And I have Victor by decision.
Very, very reasonable disagreement. First of the night, first of a few at least. Next fight, Ramsey Brahmaj versus Michael Gilmore. I got Brahmaj. Please be quick.
Yeah, not Gilmore.
Not Gilmore.
Anyone but Gilmore.
Yeah, I think that might be true. He might be the worst fighter in the UFC right now. Alejandro Perez versus Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez by TKO for me.
Yep, round 3, Martinez.
Yep. Hannah Goldie versus Ginyu Frey. I've got Ginyu Frey in this one by decision.
Yeah, I've got Ginyu as well. I can't pick Hannah.
Fair enough. Yep. Ferris Aziam versus McKinney. Had McKinney once, had Ziam once. I'm back on McKinney.
McKinney, round 1.
Nice. Hopefully that's what we're looking for. Nunes versus Pascual. Joanna Nunes versus Ramona Pascual. I'll take Joanna Nunes. Again, first round knockout.
I'll have Nunes decision.
Okay. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Rong Zhu. Can't wait to hear your breakdown of that. I do have Rong Zhu. I like the improvements he's making, the lack of defense from Bahamondes and ATT. All things I like for the plus 200 Ruzong.
Yeah, Zhurong decision for me.
Yeah. Okay. And next fight is Armin, or the beginning of the main card with Gregory Rodriguez against Armin Katrozian. Gregory Rodriguez, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, submission round number 1.
Armin decision.
You picked Armin.
Mm.
Wow, that's a switch.
I've changed my mind.
That is a switch. Wow, you let the masses get to you. How dare you?
I'm gonna go for it.
All right, Armin decision. I'm shocked. Armin Sarukian versus Joel Alvarez. We've got Armin Sarukian here.
Yeah, another Armin, and by decision as well.
Yep, decision as well. Fuck off, Cachoeira versus Ginyu Kim. Please, Ginyu Kim, save us.
Yeah.
Misha Serkinov versus Wellington Turman. I've got Wellington Turman.
No, Serkinov.
Oh God, that one's gonna hurt. Our fourth disagreement. Is our third disagreement of the night. And then Bobby King Green, shout out to you making the legendary move, stepping up. But we both got Islam here. Islam by finish.
Yeah. For me, round 1, round 2 max.
Justin says, Aaron, tell Bunny, thank you for sliding into my DMs between Salma Hayek and a few Victorian Angels rookies. I get busy, but much love. Okay. I'll make sure to pass that message on to Bunny. She'll very much appreciate that. Appreciate everybody for joining us. This was honestly one of our more successful breakdowns. Maybe we'll do these earlier in the week more often, but still got the PFL Content Challenger Series coming up with Lucky Locks on here, as well as the Bellator preview show. Going to figure out who I'm doing that with. Might be with Lewis, might be with Dave, might be by myself. We'll figure that out. It'll be over the next day or two. And then the LFA breakdown with Lucky Locks as well, taking place on Wednesday. So those are all coming up on the channel. Go check out Norton MMA. We've got the UFC Vegas 48 recap up and live now. It's a good conversation, tons of matchups over there. Anything else you want to let the people know about? Subscribe to Norton MMA. If you're here and you're not subscribed to them, you're just fucking up.
I appreciate it. Just the who wins at the moment. Got Uncle Live on there versus Thiago Santos at the moment. Got a few coming out. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Brian Kelleher out today, which is a really interesting one. A lot under the radar, that fight as well. So there's some good breakdowns going on. Absolutely. Always good stuff there. For Aaron, for Lewis, for Justin, Armchair, Bunny, everybody else, amazing show. Agree with you, Justin. This is always a good time. Appreciate everybody checking it out. Spread the word. Let's get up to 100 viewers on one of these days. We're a fifth of the way there. We can do it. We'll get there. But either way, I appreciate all of your input. Lewis, seriously, you're great to break these down with. And you just wait. You turned on Gregory Rodriguez, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. But enjoy the fights, everybody. Gregory Rodriguez submission. Thank me later. Peace.